The Aladdin wasn't the biggest casino on the Strip, and it wasn't always the most successful, but it was one of the most memorable. With its Arabian Nights theme, glowing lamps, ornate domes, and one of the most famous weddings in Las Vegas history, the Aladdin carved out a space for itself during one of the most creative eras on the Strip. Today, we're taking a look back at the Aladdin, its early years, its theme charm, the entertainers who performed there, the Elvis moment that made worldwide headlines, and how the property continued to reinvent itself over 4 decades. The story begins in 1962 with the Tally Ho Hotel, a European-style luxury resort built without a casino. It offered fine dining, upscale decor, and even live entertainment, but without gambling, it simply couldn't survive on the Strip. In 1963, it briefly became the King's Crown Hotel, but even with the new ownership and a small casino attempt, the property still couldn't find its identity. The location had potential, the Strip was booming, but the building needed vision. It needed a theme. And that's when Milton Prell stepped in. Milton Prell was one of early Las Vegas's most imaginative developers. After opening the Pioneer Club and the Sahara, he was known for building resorts with character, strong themes, and a sense of fun. When Prell acquired the King's Crown property, he saw an opportunity to create something completely different, a full Arabian Nights style resort, complete with domes, minarets, decorative lamps, and bright mosaic colors. The redesign was bold for its time, not a subtle theme, but a fully committed one. Prell believed that guests should feel transported the moment they stepped in, and in April 1966, the new Aladdin Hotel and Casino officially opened its doors. The original Aladdin had a charm that made it stand out from its neighbors. Guests remember the glowing entrance dome, decorative stonework and colorful tile mosaics, Arabian lamps and themed statues, a warm, intimate casino floor, themed lounges and entertainment rooms. It wasn't a huge resort, but that was part of its appeal. It felt personal, themed, and playful, especially compared to some of its more traditional neighbors. Entertainment at the Aladdin. The Aladdin showroom hosted a variety of performers during its early years, including Lou Rawls, Jack Jones, the Smothers Brothers, Glenn Campbell. The showroom seated about 500 guests and featured bright red carpeting, gold accents, and the classic mid-century Vegas showroom look. The floor offered approachable table limits and colorful slot banks. Nothing giant, nothing overwhelming, just classic 60s Vegas gaming. This was the Aladdin at its peak charm. Small, themed, colorful, and memorable. On May 1st, 1967, the Aladdin became world famous overnight. Elvis and Priscilla Presley were married in a private suite at the Aladdin Hotel, with the press conference following in the hotel lounge. Photographs from that day made newspapers across the country. This was the turning point for the resort's identity. The Aladdin became part of the Elvis lore, something no other Las Vegas property could claim. By the early 1970s, the Aladdin expanded with a new 19-story hotel tower, an updated casino decor, a larger, more modern showroom, and improvements to the Arabian theme. The dome in front became one of the most photographed entrances on the Strip. Colorful carpets, chandeliers, and themed accents made the resort feel like any other on Las Vegas Boulevard. Even as new mega resorts began appearing, the Aladdin held on to its identity, themed, friendly, and visually distinctive. The 1980s were a time of major change on the Strip. Larger resorts like the Mirage were being planned, and the Aladdin, now aging, began exploring ways to modernize. Ownership changed hands multiple times, but the hotel continued to update entertainment, add new slot floors, and bring in themed events. The Aladdin remained a recognizable part of the Strip skyline during this transition era. By the mid-1990s, it became clear a full redevelopment was coming, a trend sweeping through Las Vegas at the time. The original Aladdin closed on November 25, 1997, after more than 30 years on the Strip. On April 27, 1988, the classic Aladdin was imploded, making way for a much larger resort. Crowds lined up the Strip that night to watch a piece of light 1960s Las Vegas fade into history. The iconic dome, the entrance lamps, the themed carpets, all of it disappeared, making the original Aladdin one of the more nostalgic losses for longtime visitors. A completely rebuilt modern Aladdin opened in August of 2000. The resort was far larger, a massive casino, a new hotel tower, a large theater, and the Desert Passage shopping mall. It kept some Middle Eastern styling, but not the same warmth or charm as the original. Despite its scale, the new Aladdin struggled financially. These issues were widely documented: high construction costs, debt, and management challenges. In 2004, Planet Hollywood and Starwood Hotels acquired the property and began transforming it. The resort officially became Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino in 2007. Although parts of the 2000 structure remain, the Aladdin theme, old and new, has fully disappeared from the Strip. The Aladdin was never the biggest resort in Las Vegas, but it was one of the most distinctive. Its Arabian theme, signature dome, warm casino atmosphere, and of course, the Elvis wedding made it a memorable part of Vegas history. From Milton Prell's imaginative vision to its colorful 1960s and 70s entertainment era, the Aladdin represents a time when casinos weren't afraid to be bold, creative, and themed from top to bottom. The building may be gone, but the memories of the original Aladdin, the decor, the atmosphere, and the iconic moments remain a cherished chapter in Las Vegas history.
Shadows dancing